Hello, welcome to the Kubernetes SIG service catalog, July 30th, Monday, 2018 meetings. Fill in yourself if you're attending. And we've got what looks like a pretty full schedule, but not a lot of people here. So I'll begin and we'll tackle what we can tackle. Delegate everything to the mailing list or the Slack, I guess. So it's been a week or two. I'm getting started right into it. I'm the first thing. So getting into it, we've had the LGTM process from Prow enabled for a while, and I was thinking we could begin to taper off of the old process and flow into the new process. We covered some of this last week, so if you want more details, you can watch the last meeting or look at the notes. But I feel like we've gotten a bigger handle on it, and I've seen people consistently using the labels, even if they don't necessarily understand what they mean, I guess, is the potential thing. So I was going to say we could vote on it here, but we don't have a lot of people, so I'll take Carolyn's suggestion and send an email after this about giving it a lazy consensus, a couple of days or a week, and if anybody feels strongly about that on the meeting right now, it would be good to hear.
So we used to require 2 LGTMs. We're going to a process where someone has to approve and someone has to LGTM. Nothing requires those be different people, but that's what we're aiming for, right?
Yes. And right now what is turned on is no self-approve, no self-LGTM, I believe.
Yep, makes sense.
That seems fine.
So I'll try to summarize some of that as well, I guess, and when I send out the email, and I don't know if lazy consensus is 3 days or whatever, but we can start with that and give it a shot. Sound good?
Agreed.
All right, so Carolyn's not here for the next issue, but an email went out, and we had a chair swap, and you guys can read that. Next thing is this delete thing. We've had everything pared down to I guess couple of 5 different ones here. They were named sequentially, and somebody took out the non-existent ones anymore. So right now, the only ones left are the ones that people sort of vouched for as something they would support. And so we're left with 0, 1, 2, 5, and 8. I really don't know what the process for this is. We don't really have a lot of people on here. I guess we can go to the mailing list for this as well. I'm not really sure how to make this a secret ballot or whatever, if that's necessary.
I don't think the intention was secret ballot, but I think we've talked about giving people till Friday, which seems like a long time, but whatever. That's the date that I think Carolyn has previously recorded in the meeting. Morgan, my thought is, why don't we put both of these lazy consensus votes into one mail saying, hey, it's open now. Please make a choice on the 2 issues, enumerate the 2 issues, and say we'd like results for the. I don't know, do we go before the end of day on Friday or before the end of day on Thursday? I guess probably before the end of day on Friday.
Okay, and they respond by email, I guess?
That's what we've talked about, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can do that too.
And I guess we probably, I believe, I know for certain on the deletes, and I think it goes the same on the other issue, the only votes that will count are the votes from maintainers, and we could include the maintainer list in there. There's 20 individuals that are noted.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where that is, so but
I'll send you the link here.
okay. So I guess that takes care of that. Jonathan, you have a couple of status things.
Okay, so first up is namespaced brokers. I really haven't been paying attention to this, and I'm just kind of wanted to touch base to see where we are in that. I checked out master and was playing with it, and it seems like it's functional at this point, but it's still gated behind an alpha feature flag, and I just wanted to know what the deal with that was.
Yeah, I reached out to Eric, but I didn't get a response. I know Jesus is on the phone with us. I don't know if he knows anything more than I do. I think we're pretty complete, minus some PRs on service catalog.
Okay, I don't know if my mic is working, but yes, it is complete, and I don't know what the trigger is to move it past the feature gate. I think it was feature gated to not just avoid people having it turned on by automatically, but other than that, it was pretty much done.
Okay. So the reason I'm primarily interested in it is because I want it to be turned on by default. Because I've been adding flags to svcat register and deregister, and Carolyn and I were discussing it, and I can open this up for discussion here if people have opinions. Which do you think would make more sense as the default? If I'm just saying svcat register broker, do you think it would make more sense for the default to be a namespace broker comes into existence or a cluster service broker? And we were thinking namespace brokers was probably the better base case, because that's like a thing a normal user would probably do sometime, as opposed to an admin-only cluster-wide operation that happens fairly infrequently. But we didn't want that to be the default if it's gated behind an alpha feature flag, because then the default behavior would be blow up.
Okay. I don't have an opinion on it. I don't think it will matter. If we want to make it default, that's fine. Now I would need more guidance in terms of what would it take to move it out of that feature flag. Other than that, I don't think it's anything wrong with it.
Okay. I also wanted to take a quick second. Morgan, could you let me share my screen?
Yep, 1 second.
So I just had a quick demo of the flags, the stuff I've been working on, in case people wanted to see that. Does this work? Can everybody see that?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so the PR to add register already went in. I've added a whole bunch of flags, and this is also, I mean, I was just working off of the flags Carolyn and I came up with in the issue. If people have other ideas, feel free to chime in. So it just lets you set a whole bunch of the spec stuff for brokers. I have Minikube running on my broker right here. So you can do that. Eventually the broker will show up. Amazing. I also have support for the the restriction selectors.
Nice.
So hopefully. So yeah, my SQL's gone. So yeah, Carolyn's been reviewing my pull request. This is still open, so really this is just to bug somebody else to come review it. It's kind of a large pull request, I understand that. I wanted to add all the flags in one go. If you're finding it difficult to understand it, especially because the tests are written in Ginkgo, feel free to ping me over Slack and I can walk you through it, but I'd like to get this in.
Yeah, looks nice. Great.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. How do I stop sharing now? Morgan?
Yeah, it freezes up for a couple of seconds every time I have to choose a screen. So, FYI, like minutes ago, the charter was merged. For those of
Wait,
you,
what?
the charter for the SIG.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was postponed indefinitely, and it just happened.
It's merged now. Here, I'm going to interrupt your thing.
I'm done with. I'm over.
So
Great.
that's cool.
Yeah, that's
Did you cover the register deregister? Or is that the same issue or different issue? That was the.
I mean, no, I demoed it. Yeah, that was just look at all the stuff I added. If people want more flags, they can bug me. Please review my pull request.
Which pull request?
I probably should have linked it, shouldn't I?
The link where?
In the doc.
I don't see it.
I got it. I'll put it in.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I had the same question independently. As part of just 0.2, how do we know when it's done? Does that include the client stuff? It definitely includes documentation, which I know some documentation has gone in recently from Jeremy. And maybe we've already beat this concept enough, and so we can move on. Any other last feedback on that? It sounded like the server side stuff is definitely done, and it's behind the feature flag. And maybe we could take the feature flag off if it's done now.
Yeah, I think we can probably take the feature flag off. I don't know if, Jonathan, if you want to create a PR for it or an issue for it. I don't care either way.
I can try that, yeah.
Or if you just want to do an issue, that's fine too, so we don't lose track of it. All I was thinking.
Okay, moving on. As part of this namespace service broker is basically one of the things that we're saying is our 0.2, and sounds like we're very close on that particular aspect of it. I'm concerned by how do we get everything else off of here. And there's a lot of these that I've reviewed, and I believe I've brought them up. I'm not really sure how to get them resolved.
So we've had some pretty good luck at one of these planning sessions going one by one through it. Maybe we do that in either next week or the week after. And I know we have got to have more participants than we got on this meeting, but
yeah, I can start clicking on them. I don't know if we're going to be able to make any decisions, but this definitely seems like something we could take a look at. And maybe it's just no longer reproducible because it's fixed. So does somebody want to go and test this? Please. It's a bug. Let me see. Install a service instance, service binding at the same time. The instance will go into async provisioning. So it's not necessarily a bug. It's just trying to figure out what do we expect. So do we expect an update result when the binding goes from not ready to ready? That seems to be the question. Agree.
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
It took much longer than expected. Okay, so maybe it's just a timing issue. Since we've seen, do we have any? Does anybody know if there's any other bug that sounds like this? That people are not getting watches that they're expecting.
No, not that I'm aware of. That doesn't mean much.
Okay. I think we should just close this.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, especially with Carolyn's note in there.
All right, another one bites the dust. So stuck.
I don't even know where we want to go here yet. We do, but I'm thinking let's get this vote done with.
Okay. Yeah, I think this has something to do with that. So we keep discussing this and we keep bringing it up and then we keep throwing it out. I mean, I think our documentation is improving. I'm not sure that this is an actionable thing for many of us. And it doesn't seem to be actionable at the face-to-face itself. So.
Yeah, I don't even know that we talked about it, Morgan, but it's a good one. And
we didn't talk about it in the July meeting, but we did talk about it in the previous two of them.
Yeah, yep.
And basically everybody told me to go away and, you know, it'll happen. So I would say we just close this one in favor of all of the other documentation issues that exist, unless, you know, we can, or move it out to the next milestone, the 1.0.
Yeah, I'd say close it. I don't think it's offering value. And we do have a bunch of PRs that have been opened, so.
Okay. I'm going to leave this one open just because we can either move this to 1.0 when we get to feeling done, but I think this one holds value just in terms of, you know, documentation that we could require. It's got a big list of stuff.
Yep.
There's been lots of links to it. So I think it's just good as an overall issue. Sound good?
It does.
All right, so there's a bunch of PRs that exist for this one. This one is about making the output prettier on kube control get. And I want to say that we've got svcat now. Even though some of this stuff is probably stuff that should be done in general for Kubernetes. I don't see us gating on it. And I think the svcat stuff is taking over. So either close or move out.
Yeah, Morgan, I'd like to touch base with Marco on this. I know he's been working on a bunch of these items, and I know one of the PRs isn't closed yet, but
Okay.
I'll go ahead and follow up on it and make sure we update this with current status.
Okay. I'm putting you on there.
Yeah, good.
Okay. What was the next? I think this exists. It just needs to be rebased.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, it's right there, yeah.
So, yeah, we could probably get that in. We just rebase it and we'll be done. That would be good to get off. That's okay. I think Doug was going to look at this, but Doug says he uses this. I remember asking him. He says he still uses this. So either it's done or I guess Doug was waiting for a feedback from Paul. If Doug still uses it, if somebody else still uses it, I'm fine with just leaving it. And then we can close this issue because people are using it. I agree that the weird client expansion thing throws a wrench in it, but I really can't control how that works. So, thoughts? Leave alone, close, move out.
Yeah, I'd say leave alone for now. Be my vote.
Status field, cluster service classes. Okay, I think this is the one where you attach the plans directly to the class so that you can, without having to get all of the individual plans, look at what plans a class has.
Right, and svcat has a not a cascade, but some feature there that recursive or something, right?
For which thing?
svcat, you can do a get plans, and it shows the parents.
Oh, yeah, it has that.
Do you think we should close this?
Add a stat. I don't know if maybe that's not the add a status field.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
He's suggesting an implementation as the reason.
Yeah, this is before svcat was here though, so I think it's pretty moot at this point.
Plus, once I'm done with register, I'm going to add a marketplace command, and it'll be even fancier.
Is that close enough?
Sure.
So.
Well, I think this should be closed, but I've had people ask me about the contents of the YAML in this folder. I think the README here explains this, but apparently people miss the README, so I'm not sure what else we can do here and what API features and whatnot are being thought of in this description here.
How about we take it off 020?
And move it forward.
Yeah, I just think just clear it.
Well, I'm not gonna just. I don't really like dumping issues. So I'll do that, and you can go fix it later, I guess. This one, I think. I guess this is still in progress, or maybe done.
Yeah, I think according to our previous conversation, it's done.
And okay. Is the client side stuff done, or is that still in progress?
It's still in progress. Okay. Server side's done, client side, no.
All right, we'll do that for now. Yeah, I remember seeing this and having no idea what it's talking about, so I don't even know what to do with this one.
Yeah, Paul has discussed some details around this. I know it's utilizing current quota mechanism within Kubernetes, so you could limit, like how many instances can be created in a namespace or perhaps by a user. So I know there's some work around this, but it sounds like we need a definition first on it. Some concrete ideas.
Okay.
Requirements. I don't know that it should be in 020. I don't have a feeling on that. I can take it up with Paul.
Okay, I'm just going to put this from I'm going to move it out because we seem to have no idea what it's doing. So pod presets. I'm not sure we're really anywhere close to this.
Yeah, and the general consensus is it's not going to go into service catalog. They're looking for a new home for it. Jeff is still working on this.
Okay. That's interesting. So let's bring this back at the end, because that's next to this one. Umbrella issue. I feel like there's been lots of work done on the controllers and whatnot since basically a year ago. So I'm really, this is basically a year-old issue that I don't know what to do with other than, you know, is this still a problem? We do need documentation on what it does. Look at the spec. Controllers. Yeah, I'm not really sure why this is in a milestone to begin with. I'm just not sure how to action this.
Yeah, you want to leave it there for now, Morgan? Maybe we can each take a read through it.
Okay.
I know there's a lot here to comprehend, I think.
Okay. What happened? T provision service instance is never deleted. If I delete an instance,
I think this issue is old and may not be an issue anymore. This is over a year ago.
okay.
I can chase it with Jessica, I guess. I think we'd have PRs against this if people were deleting things and the resource wasn't going away.
Yeah. I mean, I think there seems to be some fairly recent, but discussion, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
If it's OpenShift specific or if it's, you know what? Can I hand it to you?
Yep, that's fine.
Let's use our nice message thingy. There we go. You should still get an email. So
Great, thanks.
So I guess this is more pod's preset stuff. So I'm wondering if we take pod preset out of 0.2 or if we, move it to 1.0, because I don't really, overall, I'm not really sure what, I think it's a 1.0 kind of requirement, but I don't think, I'd like to get a 0.2 out sooner rather than later.
Do we have a time frame for 0.20?
Nope.
Yep.
Not in here, at least. I think we could probably knock out a lot of this and then move the remaining issues to a future milestone. But I think we're pretty close, I would say. Thoughts?
I think we're close, but I know Jeff is still struggling wrapping up the pod preset stuff. I'll put that on my list also, Morgan, to try to get some.
Okay, no, I just wanted to raise the pod preset stuff. In my opinion, I don't think it's a requirement for 0.2, but
yeah, I would agree.
But if it is a hard requirement from somebody else, I don't want to kick it out.
Yeah.
I just figure we should focus on the focus on finishing the things that we think we can finish soon. Try to set a due date, or understand that we're pretty close to having enough stuff to really kick the button on that point 2. And
well, you want to move both of those pod presets to 1.0?
Yeah, I can do that. We can always move them back out to
right.
to like 0.3 or something. I think this will go away if you follow up. I think this will go away and we'll move it.
Right.
Doug, I'll ask Doug again if we can take a look at that one. This needs a rebase and it's done. I don't remember what we said. We decided something on this. Let's see. We said reviewed. Yeah, go find an update on that other thing. Yeah. Documentation, we'll leave it until like the last second, and then we'll just move it to 0.3 or and follow up on that, I think. Okay. So I think that's basically that. Why did I leave this? Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, that last one is a product of voting on our deletey thing.
Right. Nal isn't here to talk about this, but I'll open the issue and we'll see if we can figure out what we got. It's a fresh issue. I don't know if anybody's read this. Has anybody read this? No.
I have not.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they want to disable orphan mitigation. I've heard discussion on this before.
Okay. So I guess they have a implementation for themselves. Oh, there it is. Still migration case for use unwanted. Can't we use UPS? Well, we don't have Doug or Nal or anyone from Microsoft on here.
Yep, let's table it.
Okay. Ooh. Off by one. Whatever. Okay, so I just made a list of stuff to look at. I basically took everything that was not needs rebase and was more than a week old. Jay, I think you have more insight onto what needs to be done here.
Yeah, this was one of our testers, I think, that opened this issue. We had an issue with migration, and Paul had opened an issue in our product and indicated that in addition to not doing validation during the storage migration, I think he was also saying there should be a default created for, was it a plan? Not a plan, no. I don't know. Paul seemed to be pretty convinced about what he wanted to see happen, a default created. The test didn't do that, and I think what wants to be happened here is a issue probably created and we can track it from there. I don't know that it's that high priority. I don't believe it is.
Okay.
So I can circle back again with Paul on this one and see for certain, but I believe we'll probably close this issue and close this PR and create an issue.
Okay.
Have the actual work done.
Okay. I gave it to you already, so.
Yeah, I saw it. I'll get on it. Thanks.
No rush. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay.
Yep.
Somebody sort of drive by through this at us. I thought it was kind of neat. It seems to work. It's basically removes all of this stuff and gives us a little function thing that generates everything. And then I thought this was pretty neat, but and it's got a good comment. But if people don't like the find, the shelling out to find, then close it. But otherwise, I thought it was pretty clean and worked, and I've tested it. But I suggest you guys do the same.
Is there any sort of expectation for cross-platform or cross-shell compatibility for our makefile, or is it just Linux Bash exclusively?
What do you mean?
Like, is it supposed to work on anything other than Linux Bash?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe Mac somewhat, but definitely not Windows.
What about like Z Shell or?
Z Shell is a shell. That should be fine. I mean, I wouldn't put into the shell out things, I don't think using find is a bash specific thing.
Not bash specific, but it might have, I don't know, BSD specific flags that won't work or will work differently on Macs.
All right, well, you have a Mac, try it on a Mac.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty straightforward command, but I certainly hear you, Jonathan.
Yeah, you're right for this case. It's probably fairly straightforward. Just something to be aware of.
All right, well, look at it, don't look at it, but add a comment that you looked at it if you do.
So I actually went and looked at this one already and approved it. Although I do have a question because apparently I screwed up the get robot again. So Carolyn LGTM'd it.
Yeah.
And then I /LGTM'd it and /approved it, but it didn't add the label. Why I had to add the label manually?
Well, it didn't get to it. It took 3 minutes to get to it.
Well,
Yeah, right now it's requiring LGTM1 and LGTM2, and it doesn't add those labels. It just adds LGTM. And then the part of our get process is looking for the two labels.
Well, I think Jonathan is saying he added the approved label.
Well, no. So it posted a different message from that one. Originally it said this PR is not approved. It requires an additional approver, suggested approver, Carolyn. And I was like, I don't know what to deal with that is. So I went and added the approved thing manually.
Well, you're not in here.
Oh, well. Am I not an approver? I don't know how it's
Not in there, no. And then, no. I don't believe you're an approver in any of those.
Well, that's great.
Like I said to everybody who's been on this call for the last, 4 weeks, if you feel the need to be an approver or a reviewer, please go add yourself to the owner's file. Thank you. Goodbye.
And Jonathan, I think it makes sense. Anybody that's active with the community and doing work, I think it makes sense to add yourself. So just echoing Morgan, I guess.
And you can put it just on svcat if you want. Go to the command svcat folder and put yourself in right in that one. You can do that. Anyway, this seems to be done. It needs an approve. Is everybody comfortable with this, I guess? Did you want another look at it? No, wait, no, I guess not. It's in svcat. Does anybody svcat want to look at svcat stuff?
I can take a look at that one too.
I thought this was approved. I thought this was a done deal. I thought I saw it go.
Doug's one?
Yeah, Doug's one. Wow, that's a lot of code. It does have comments though, so I like that. Of course, it's got really bad names for things, but Well, you can't win every argument, you know.
Doug.
But yeah, it does have 2 LGTMs, so I maybe one more look at it, and then somebody's put /approve or ping me or whatever.
Yep. Okay.
Okie dokie. I believe that concludes everything for now.
Sounds good. And so, Morgan, you'll get mail out on the voting.
Yep, I will get some mails out.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
See you later.